Hi Ishan, let me know if that's not how you pronounce your name. We're going to break down your video and figure out how you can go and get your front frees to be truly steezy. So I'm just going to watch them through and then we'll go from there. Nice, using the blind landing, the spot. First of all, these jumps are pretty small to try to get a steezy front free. A steezy front free is really more helpful on a big jump, but that doesn't mean there isn't stuff we can do here to help your front frees be better and improve. So we're going to go and break it down with this first one. The first thing that we're going to point out is the things I like, because positivity is where it's at. So your timing's decent, you're snapping off your tail, not pre-spinning too much, but the thing I really like here is your spot. You're spotting the knuckle and you're tracking that spot the whole way, finishing in that blind landing. So that's really close, but you're not quite doing it right. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, because sadly for a stylish front free, it means you need to have a proper front free. And to get a proper front free, we gotta get technical with it. So we're going to go and break down this one, then we'll break down the second one. So the first thing that I want you to go and take out of your riding is all these last minute speed checks. Notice how you're doing and coming back forward. It's hard to go and have a good platform to turn off. It just adds inconsistency. And in this case, it's making you get on your heel edge a little bit too early. And that's what we're seeing here a lot with this front free, is everything's a little bit too early. Notice how when you're going and snapping, you're holding your fully extended snap position as your board's still riding off the jump. What this does is it makes it so you're not generating any rotation of your upper body, making it so you need to rely on counter rotation. And we can see that with your hips. You're doing this rotation with your hips. So in order to fix this, what we need to do is slow down that timing. We don't want to be in our maximum point of extension for longer than it takes us to snap off a lip. So you want to be at this point, but finishing the motion. So what I mean by this is right now you're in this motion and holding it for like a few extra milliseconds, so that when you pop off, you don't actually have any momentum with your upper body carrying you through. Instead, you're relying on that pre-spin with the upper body, a little bit of scruff off the takeoff, and then counter rotation of the hips to get it around. This isn't going to let us go and get a steezy front free, because it makes it so we need to work for it. Where to get a steezy front free, we need to have one smooth motion. And to do this, we go and change the timing. Instead of being open off the takeoff, we do the same positioning but delay it. So that way, as soon as your upper body has finished its momentum, that's when your tail's snapping off the lip. So you're carrying that momentum of your snap. Because right now you're doing the wind up and snap, but you might as well just be going off the jump like this, because you're holding that still position. So if you're holding that still position, you're not generating rotation. The next thing I want to point out, because honestly in the air, the only reason you're like struggling and flailing your arms there is because of that, because you're fighting for it, because you don't have that momentum. And then the other thing is you're not holding the blind landing long enough. We can see, let me pull out my marker, just learning how to do this. You can see when you're landing, your gaze is out this way. This is just as your board has made contact here. So your eyes should be boom, here, back down at the landing. And the reason for this is because if you're looking forward before your board touches the ground, your momentum is going to carry with you. And we can see that with how you wash out to your heels here. That's because you're looking up from that landing too soon, instead of keeping your eyes down and on the ground. For a stylish front free, you might notice that sometimes people land looking forward, but that's only because they killed the momentum in the air, where your momentum you were making up for in the air. So for that, you need to utilize the blind landing. So instead of going and looking up as soon as your board's about to make contact, hold your gaze a little bit longer. It feels unnatural, but just hold that gaze uphill and digging your toe edge. That's going to fix the slide out. Now let's go and watch the second jump and see if the same problems consist for that one. We might as well go and break down the straight air when we're at it. Why not? So for the straight air, big bend. This is too much of a bend down. You don't need that much juice. Notice how your upper body is dropping close to where your hips are at. This is outside of the effective range of motion. So straighten it up. Your bend here is actually better. This is all the bend you'd need. This would be a great form. From that position, pop up from there. That's all you need. This extra bit, that's too much. And you can see it. It makes it so you don't get that full extension because you have too much upward momentum you're dealing with and too big of a body motion. It's just too much. So narrow that back, relax it a bit, and that's going to help. Because Everything else, that's good. It's just too much coming in. You don't need that much juice. It's not giving you anything. No extra power, no extra height. It's just adding complex funk. So eliminate that and it's going to really help. All right, this is the big boy. So this is the one we're really going to focus in on. So you're switching to your heel edge a little bit too soon. See how your heel on your heel edge before you're at the spoon of a jump? You just want to delay that to here. So, actually a little bit more, to here. So, we'll use the marker again. Instead, right now you're going like, coming in, heel edge, and then you need to hold that heel edge the whole way. It's going to make it so your chest wants to preemptively open. Delay it, so come in more, and then once you're here, then switch to your heel edge. This is just going to let you stay closed off longer, making the whole maneuver a lot easier to navigate. Because we're seeing it already. You're coming in and your chest is opening and your chest is staying open. See how your chest is fully open to the jump and held that way as your board's still riding off. You can really see it here. You're not generating any rotation with your upper body because you're in your fully snap position too soon. So this one, your takeoff was a lot better, a lot straighter line, a lot less scrub, good extension. You're just extending too soon. You want this body position at this frame, right? Because that's going to let your momentum carry. You might notice I got a clip to the right here. We'll break down one of my front frees after, one of my stylish front frees, and see what we're doing differently. And then let's see the spot. Spotting the knuckle, nice. And looking up. Let's see, washing to the heels. So that's a sign that you wash to the heels, but this one was a lot nicer because you didn't need that momentum. On a small jump, you need to generate more spin, but this jump let you get away with it more. But you can see it here, how your rotation speeds up in the air. Watch, your rotation speeds up. If your rotation speeds up like that, that means you're utilizing counter rotation. Now let's pull over one of my front frees. This is on a really big jump, but it's stylish, so we're going to use it. And it still shows, that's so loud. It still shows all the form that you're trying to use. So watch my setup carve. Even on a jump this big, even on a jump this big, look at how patient I am for getting on my heels. I'm on my toes, and I'm not switching to my heels until I'm at the spoon of the jump. See how I'm just passing the spoon and I'm on my heels? This is on a big jump, but that's the same for any jump. You want to get on your heels after a spoon. And the biggest thing I want you to notice here is look at my shoulders. They're super closed off. I'm still in a completely straight line, where here, your chest was starting to open up. So holding that straight line is really important, even on a big jump like this. And then watch, I'm still closed, and see how my momentum's carrying? So then my final point of extension is when I'm leaving off a jump. What this does is it lets me rotate in a constant, smooth, fluid rotation. See, I don't need to make any movement with my upper body. That's because I set the right amount of power off the lip. On a smaller jump, you'd have to do it faster because you have less air time. But the baseline principles are the same, where you're carrying your momentum, so when you fully extend, your momentum's at the point of your snap, with that chest slightly open, but you're doing right, you're just doing it slightly too early. And that lets you go and get a smooth rotation. And when you can get that smooth rotation, that's when you can get the grab, and that's when you can get the poke. That's where the style comes from. And notice how my eyes are still tracking the knuckle. And then I'll just explain this, because I do something that you shouldn't do. I start looking forward, so I can land looking forward. This is only possible because I fully killed my momentum in the air with the front free. You can see I have no more momentum, so there's nothing that will go and wash me to my heels. So if you see people landing looking forward, it's just because they have that. It's coming from a constant spot. It's more advanced. But what you need to focus on is just holding that blind landing, getting that smooth motion off the takeoff. And once you can do those two things, your style is going to be way easier to control because you won't be needing to adjust your spin in the air. Let me know if these tips help. We're going to go and play one more of these front frees out. But I really think this is the only thing you need to change because your form's looking good, your blind landing is almost there, your constant spot's there, so you're on the right track. So keep at it and let me know if you need any more help.